Like there's so many people that are in real estate that don't do anything.
Right.
So, yeah, I have had people say like, "Can you coach me?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where to pencil that in. I'm working my job that I have to pay for my kids and my attorney and all these other things, but I have to pay every day to keep this place open.
Right.
Or I'm going to get fined more.
It's Brittany, bitch.
All right, hey guys, welcome back to the studio. Today we have Brittany Racine, podcast host, TV host, and Michigan-based real estate expert. All right, welcome to the studio, Brittany.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to sit and chat today.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so just to give the audience a little bit of context, I know Brittany as she came in as a client of the studio, and you came in with your lovely friend Devin, who I've also had on the podcast.
Yeah.
Amazing story. I think it's amazing that you're launching your own podcast, which is called It Might Get Loud.
It's called Might Get Loud.
Might Get Loud. Got
Yep.
it. All right.
Yep.
Yes.
And hoping to launch early June. So this was perfect because I needed somewhere kind of in between me and Devin to set up and record, and I found this place and it was perfect.
So not only are you launching your podcast, but you host a TV show.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
So it's called The American Dream, and it's all based on lifestyle and real estate. It's really nationwide. It's an Emmy-nominated show. Mine's obviously just based in Michigan because that's where I work.
Right.
So they have real estate agents throughout the country that will showcase and highlight different communities. So it's a great way for businesses to, get exposure on like a nationwide platform, but also, get content for social media marketing and just recognition that they wouldn't normally get. And so they have the real estate agents, find the businesses and showcase the business, whether it's, touring a restaurant or whatever, talking to the owner, seeing like an upcoming event, whatever it is. And then you also can do a real estate showing within that same community. So you pick different cities and kind of can go wherever, and you just have to coordinate a house and a business like within the same area.
Amazing. So you're a real estate-based expert, Michigan-based real estate expert, podcast host, and a TV host. That's like the hat trick. The
I don't know. I'm all
trifecta.
the things. Yeah.
Yes, that's the triple threat.
Yep.
So how many seasons are you in with the TV show?
So we just did our 4th episode. I started in July last year. So I'm
Okay.
on a team with my mom. It's just the two of us. And when the show first reached out to us, she was like, "Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to do that." And I'm like, "We're absolutely doing this. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? This is the best marketing ever.
Great exposure.
Even if it's like not like we're necessarily going to get a client on it. It's just, top of mind and just being noticed as a real estate agent." So we started in July. We film every other month. We took like 2 months off just for traveling and stuff. It just wasn't lining up. So now we're about to film our 5th episode.
Wow, that's
Yes,
exciting.
yes.
How's that going?
Good. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's more work than I originally anticipated just
Right.
because I have to find the businesses or, businesses will reach out, but it's like, it's a hard one to really film.
Yeah.
Or it's in an area that we don't work that often in, or we don't have a listing in. So it's like, there's a lot of things to like line up with it.
Yeah. There's a lot of logistics that come in.
There's a
and-
lot of planning.
Yeah. As you're getting into the podcasting, you realize that too. It's a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
And everything you think that's going to be easy is hard, and then vice versa.
Right. I think the TV show's definitely preparing me for the podcast because I
Yeah.
think the first time we did it, like we have the behind the scenes people, and that is what everybody wants to see.
Yeah.
Like when we screw up and when something funny happens. So the first time we did it, we had behind the scenes, but then the second episode, we kind of like really went hardcore with it. Like it was like, okay, we got to get pictures with the people on it because then it's like you want like the cover photo, not of us walking. That's
Right.
blurry and looks crappy. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So yeah, now I feel like we have all of our bases covered with that. And so I really used what we do for that to the podcast also, which it's crazy because the podcast is running all the time.
Yeah.
So like I go back through it and I'm like dying laughing at like, how did we get this far off track? And we're like having the most ridiculous conversations. I like tripped over the dogs and fell like in one of them, but it's all so good for just like promoting it and like having people understand like the vibe and the personality of the people that are on it.
It's Imperfectly Perfect.
Yes. I was listening to yours on the way over here.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the campaign. I just signed on to be part of Volume 3 for the Imperfectly Perfect campaign.
Awesome.
But that's a great way to describe your podcast because it's polished but unpolished at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty unpolished. I think it was weird because with all my real estate videos and stuff that I do on social media,
Yeah.
everybody's like, they're so put together and they're so like, I'm always dressed up and looking professional. But then most of the time I'm like wearing my kid's football sweatshirt and like running all over the place like a crazy person. So it's
Yeah.
like they love when I'm showing just the everyday mess. So I'm like, that's just going to be what the podcast is. Because first of all, I don't have time to make it a production.
Right.
So it's just going to be the everyday hoodie, whatever happens.
I love that because, well, not only do you have all those initiatives going on, you're a mother of two, 2 boys and 2 dogs.
Yes.
Yes. Talk
Yeah.
a little bit about motherhood and 2 dogs in the mix. How old are your boys?
The boys are 11 and 9. I think 2 boys in general is like just a circus. But it's great. I mean, I think I was meant to be a boy mom in the weirdest way. Like our personalities just go together so well. And we have so much fun doing sports and they have the best friends and families. So I love like just the community that we're in.
Yeah.
But it is a lot because I got to juggle, my real estate schedule and then the TV show filming and all the things I'm doing, which is a lot easier to do now that they're in school.
Right.
But I try to schedule my appointments around their stuff. So I have a baseball game tonight. So it's like, all right, I got to get everything done before then. And sometimes that means I'm going to have to work on my computer until 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
But I still got to be there for that. And usually like I can make it all work around that.
That's amazing. Well, also you're a single mom too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I have had the same boyfriend for about 5 years, but like, yeah, I'm still running them all over the place.
Yeah. It doesn't
Doing all
negate
the
the
things.
fact that
Right.
you're a mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And just 100% of the responsibility all the time.
Absolutely.
Making sure they're at all their things, they have everything they need. And then, like, why not get a couple dogs too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The one dog is like the most responsible person in the house. I'm going to call him a person because he is. And then we just got a puppy and he's really actually pretty good, but he started puppy school today.
Awesome.
Yeah, I met a lady at a charity event like 3 weeks ago and she's like, I have a dog school. And then she's like, let's do a collab. I'll train the dog. I'm like, okay.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing now.
That's so fun. I've always had Great Danes, and none of my Danes I stopped doing the puppy school because they don't graduate. It just
They're just huge and like
it just
can't
doesn't
control
work out.
them.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, do you guys take children? I think my kids, they should swap or something.
Yeah,
Like, they
no,
can
that'd be
go.
a fun show.
Yeah,
That'd be
so
great.
I don't know. But
Yes.
yeah, I have Frenchies, which I've heard they're stubborn, but they're oddly cooperative.
That
But maybe I'm just traumatized because my kids don't listen at all. So I'm like, the dogs are so easy.
My Danes were like having 2 kids, so I had 2 at the same time within a year apart, and yeah, that was like having 2 like Shetland ponies.
Horse-sized children.
Yes, yeah, they were a full-time
so
job.
cute.
I tried getting them back and forth to like doggy daycares and things like that,
But you needed a bus.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I get them around in my Jeep Wrangler, which became their vehicle because I
Yes.
can pop the top and they can stick their heads out of
They're
the
like
top.
giraffes.
Yes, it's hilarious. People love it driving down the road. They're taking pictures and they film them and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, pets definitely lighten the load, but also add to it at the same time. But
Yep.
they definitely make life interesting. So how do the boys take to the dogs? They help you out with
Oh, they love the
responsibilities?
dogs. Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're easy. They're not runners, so I think that makes it easy too. It's not like they have to put them on a leash and take them outside.
Right.
They stay in the yard.
Yeah.
So they're not very challenging dogs to take care of. But yeah, they definitely help with everything. And my older one is like a service dog now, so we just take him everywhere.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't even realize I needed a therapy dog until I got the dog. And then I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I get you a couple years ago?
That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah. So I had your good friend Devin on the podcast, and we were chatting about how just amazing moms are. And I don't know how they do it because I had an amazing mother, and there was 3 of us boys, and we were just wild as could be.
Breaking everything.
Yeah, we were just wild. 2 of them, my 2 older brothers, they were 10 months apart in age, so they were like twins.
Yes.
So, and then me 5 years later. So, she had her work cut out for her, but like, I just don't know how you mothers do it. Like, you guys manage it all, and
Yeah.
then you add in like your roster of
Things I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm
all
like,
your
maybe I should
initiatives.
quit something, but I'm like,
No,
nah.
take more on. You can do
Yeah.
it. You're a well-oiled machine, I can tell.
Of just crazy running in circles.
Yes.
I don't know how to sit.
That's
I can't,
good. It's
yeah.
a good thing because I'm the same way.
Right.
So I start my day at 2 a.m. and I just go. So I go to bed very early, but sometimes I have to work later into the evening. So my schedule will adjust as I go. But I've got to keep on that schedule because it serves me best.
To get everything in.
Yeah,
Maybe I
but
should start getting up at 2 to get everything done. But I don't think I can. What time do you have to go to bed? Like 4?
No, I go to bed at, well, some days maybe, but sometimes like 7,
Okay.
it's like 7 o'clock if like the day permits, like I can get in like that. But some days I wake up earlier, some days later. Sometimes I sleep until like 3. Like I'll wake up today. I woke up at 3 and I was like, oh shit. Like I felt like I was a little kid who missed the bus.
Yeah.
Right. Like that feeling that you get. I was like, damn. So I had to move some things around because I was like, I had some particular things in mind for the day.
Right. And now it's like dinner time for you now.
Right, exactly. I love it. But how do you, when juggling everything, like how do you keep yourself balanced? Like as far as
like mentally?
Yeah, just mentally. And like what do you do for like I like to go to the gym. I have my practices, my wellness practices and things like that. You obviously take care of yourself. Like how do you keep it all going?
It's funny because people are always like, well, how do you rest? And I'm like, I don't rest.
Right.
I just keep going. I just fit everything in. But I do work out every morning at 8:30. Like I gotta get that in. That starts my day. There's a Pure Barre like right up the street from my house. She was actually the first person I had record with me for my podcast.
Oh, awesome.
The owner there. So I feel like that's my like breakfast club.
Yeah.
Like I throw the kids in the bus. I just go over there, roll out of bed and go get my workout in. And that's like my hour because it's a class. I don't have to think about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I don't have my phone. I have no distractions. I just do what she tells me to do. And that's kind of my hour to get my head right for like, okay, what do I have today? What do I need to think about? What do I need to get creative about? That's where I kind of get all my ideas because my phone isn't ringing and I'm not like
There it is.
getting interrupted all the time.
Yeah.
So that's my hour of like sanity, I guess, even though I'm physically getting abused.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
it.
my that is my rest. So I do that every day. And I feel like I actually do it more than I want to just for the routine of it. Like even
Yeah.
on Saturdays, I'm like, I do not need to work out on Saturday morning. But if I don't,
Right.
then I'm like, what did I do this morning? I just like, I don't know,
Yes.
fluffed around my house and wasted like an hour and I can't get started. So I'll just go on Saturday morning and I know that like right when I'm done, okay, this is what I have to do for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And I can relate because I'm the same. So I don't take a day off.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's just like even going for a walk, like I'll go walk 2 miles in the morning, 2 miles in the evening, just because I like to stay on that routine.
Yeah, and like decompress.
You like
and,
structure, right?
Yeah,
Like
so I-
structure, routine. Yes.
Yeah, so I have to have that in the morning. And then I also, a lot of times, as long as it's nice out, we'll take the dogs for a walk at like 2. Because I feel like between those times, I get a little bit brain fried. So if I
Yeah.
have like 20 minutes to walk them, which hopefully will get easier now the dog's in training, because right now I'm just like, this is so dumb. What am I doing? So yeah, that's kind of my other like 15-minute reset, because then
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I got like a couple more hours till the bus gets here. And then once the bus is here, I have to like throw everybody's sports stuff on them,
Right.
throw everyone in the car and be an Uber driver until
Yes.
it's time to make food for everybody.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So yeah,
That's what I call myself, a glorified Uber driver for my dogs.
Yes. Yeah. Always driving everybody around.
That's awesome. So you mentioned that you and your mother are kind of a duo
Yep.
in the real estate end of things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was your mother your mentor kind of coming up into the real estate industry?
Yeah, so she started when I graduated high school, just to like get back into work.
Yeah.
And obviously when I graduated, the economy was totally different than it is now. So
Right.
she got really busy and she's like, I really need an assistant. Like, would you get your license and just like work for me kind of like behind the scenes and do the stuff that like she didn't have time to do?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll think about it, and then I got pregnant with my son and I'm like, oh, okay, this is like kind of could be more flexible for having a baby and not
Yeah.
having to do daycare every day. And so I tried it out, and I mean, we've just been working together since. Obviously, I'm not just doing behind the scene things anymore, but
Yeah.
it's my role has changed with the market too. So as the kids got older and they had different schedules, obviously I was more involved or less involved depending on what was happening in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We are very different. I feel like we're opposite, so we balance each other out really well. And now I've been in it for 12 years, so I mean, we're just like in a rhythm now.
Yeah. And you're still like together. Mm-hmm. That's amazing because
Yeah.
that can either go one way or another.
Right. And I mean, it helps obviously that she's family, so she understands that like my kids come first.
Yeah.
And when she travels, she fills in for all my people. When I travel, or did I say that wrong? When she travels, I fill in for all her people, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have somebody to fall back on when the market is so crazy busy.
Yeah.
Because like some days I'm out here, then someone needs to go over there. So it's like, okay, let's like divide and conquer.
And you're not just
we're all over.
to one area. You are Michigan based all
Yeah,
over the place.
we're all over. I mean, primarily I would say Livingston, Washtenaw, Oakland County.
That's amazing.
But I mean, we've done Wayne, we've done Traverse City, we've done like over by Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Not as often, but I mean, yeah.
But you're
we're all
open
over.
to everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really everywhere.
That's good. That's so good. Now is she founded this real estate company?
So we're both through Real Estate One.
Okay.
So
got
she
it.
started with Real Estate One, and then I kind of just jumped on board.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
fantastic. Well, I love that you guys have a good, healthy balance, and you guys understand that you're opposites.
Yeah.
Probably more alike than you think, maybe. I'm
Right.
like that with my parents, where I'm like, yeah, we're not alike, but we are.
Yeah, I mean, I think for her, like she's very like structured type A, and I'm like the creative, where's she going
There it
with
is,
this?
yeah.
But so I think sometimes at first she's like, I don't understand the purpose of why we're doing this. And then I'm like, then she just lets me do it.
Right.
And then later she's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, you just tell her, trust
Yeah.
the process. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't explain it to you. Just this is what we're doing. And she's like, okay. Now
Now,
she doesn't ask anymore. She just does what we're doing and
I love
then gets it. Yeah.
Now, is Mom going to be on the podcast?
I don't know. Maybe eventually.
This sounds like a good episode.
Maybe eventually. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, we have a lot of fun with the TV show, and even like the camera guys are like, you guys definitely have the most fun of any of the people we record.
Yeah.
Like just because I don't know, we have fun with it. I don't like I can't do a scripted life. I'm just
Same.
not
So
good at it.
same for me. Like with
Yeah.
the podcast, it just wouldn't work out for me. I was trying to read from a teleprompter one day, and I was
I
like, I gotta
can't.
reword it all
Oh,
myself.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
like, I have a clipboard, and I'm like, I'm just gonna read this because I can't remember a sentence. Okay,
Right.
like this is the question.
I'm all about the bullet points.
Yeah.
So like because you like conversation and I like conversation, and sometimes I can get, you start spinning in a circle,
oh yeah,
right? And
we're
then-
over in like
Yeah.
Guam, and we're like, wait, we gotta get back here.
You just got to have the bullet points to bring
Yes.
you back. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. And it was so interesting while you and Devin were here because you guys had such great camaraderie. And I love the dynamic of your podcast, which is it's so open ended because anything can happen. And
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen and anything goes.
Yes.
And so from what I've seen, I love how you pop up. It's like you never know where you're going to pop up with your podcast.
Yeah.
And that's fun. That's like an Easter egg hunt for your audience.
It
Like,
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes I'm like, am I even allowed to share this? Like, why are we talking about this?
That means it's a good podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
But there is a purpose. I mean, I haven't shared those. Like, I haven't teased any of like the real conversations. A little bit with Devin.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm just like only sharing the funny when we got lost in the conversation stuff.
Yes.
And it's been interesting for sure.
That's fun. So I love that you're opening the door for Devin, for example, to share her story, which was a little heavy, but you guys are so fun and she's got such a great personality. And she and I realize that we both have a dark sense of humor. I've lost so many people in my life. So I've lost a brother, I've lost friends too, who have taken their own life, and life's heavy and life's hard, but like you have to talk about it. You have to find a group.
Right.
You have to find your people, and I love that you guys have history together.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit more comfortable for her because that was the
Yeah.
first time she's talked.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we have like a long relationship. So
Yeah, I love that. I love that you guys kind of reconnected after, disconnecting. You guys know each other from college and spent so many years together, but life goes on. You get married, you separate, you live your lives, and then some friendships come back together and some just don't, but like you guys did, and
Yeah.
yeah, how fun.
it was the right time.
Yeah. I love
For
it.
sure.
I love when the universe lines things up, and it gave me a chance to connect with Devin and kind of help her share her story on, with her platform.
Right. And it was weird. So after we left here, I asked her, I was like, do you feel like you just ripped a Band-Aid off? And you're like, oh, like that was a lot, because I don't think anyone's asked her as directly as I did
Yeah.
the questions that we wanted to know, you
Right.
know? But what was the point of her being here if we can't ask those questions? So I was
Right.
just like, I'm going to ask all the questions that everybody wants to ask that they don't ask.
Yeah.
So afterwards, I was talking to her and I'm like, do you feel like that was like that took a lot out of you? Do you feel like you need to like go take a breather? And she was like, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Like she was like, I feel so good that I finally could talk. And she's like, what do I do next? And I told her, I was like, don't make a plan of where you're going with this story. Cause like, first of all, who knows where you're going?
Right.
But I said the first step is this, and then the next step will come once people start hearing it or whatever. And then like an hour later, you like reached out to us and you're like, wait, I want to have you on mine. I'm like, this is exactly what I'm saying. Like all you do is you just be yourself
Yeah.
and tell your truth, and then like the opportunities come to you.
Yeah.
But if you don't put yourself out there and you're trying to like be inauthentic about it, like people see that.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't, like she's got such a unique story, and there's a lot of there's a lot of different things that come at you when you experience a situation like that from other people. You know what I mean? And
Well,
if
they
you-
don't know how to act either because
they don't.
It's such a hard situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And she gets a chance to tell her story in her words. And some people are comfortable taking that chance, and some people aren't, and it's okay either way.
Right.
As long as you're talking to somebody. And I think that it's much like you're using your platform for good, and you're connecting people, and you're finding collaborations to help other people fulfill their dreams. I think that's
Right.
awesome. You're helping people find their dream homes, which is amazing.
Yes.
You've been featured in, you've had quite a few write-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about your write-ups. Those
Yeah,
are
so
fantastic.
I just shared one that was with Economic Insider. So
Okay.
just like fun featured articles, but they're not Michigan based. They're all pretty big, like CEO Weekly, Wall Street Times, just like little blippets of how I do things, I guess, differently than the normal crunchy, boring real estate interview. I don't
Yeah.
know. I like to do all the extra flair. When I walked in here, I was like, this is extra. I'm like, you one-upped me on the extra.
Well, thank you. Yeah. No, it's perfect. And your write-ups, like, they're very prominent and relevant to what you do, and kind of getting your flair out there. That's very exciting. And so you're always open to taking on anyone that's looking to interview you to highlight any of the initiatives that you've got going on,
Right.
which is fantastic.
Yeah, so a lot of those are all real estate based, but it's like if you don't take the opportunities,
Yeah.
you don't know what other opportunities will come from them. Because a lot of the opportunities I've been getting are not even real estate related.
Right.
But I'm just saying yes to all the things because
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
it'll land me wherever I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely. It opens doors, and you're willing to diversify.
Mm-hmm.
So in those interviews, do you get to highlight the TV show or the podcast, or use those interviews as a launching pad for those initiatives?
Yeah, I mean, I could. Obviously, like I did these before I was even thinking of doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Because I really was hesitant on it. I'm like, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't know if I have time for that.
It is, but you have it. You've got it, and
You
you've got the
figure it
time
out,
for it.
yeah.
You just do. You just
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So the TV show there is some stuff in the TV show on some of the articles. Yeah.
Cool. That's fantastic. So what are some of your favorite, you said you've got 4 episodes in on the TV show, right? So what are some of your favorite moments from the show?
From the show. Well, my mom is hilarious and cannot remember a script either. And so the last time she could not remember, the neighborhood was called High Hills Arbor. And she screwed it up so many times. Have you ever seen that video where the buttery flaky crust guy, that old man, he cannot say it? And it's like he resays it like 800 times, and they're like, how do you not get it still? That was her. She's like, Arbor Hills. And then she's like, dang, like every time I'm like, how have you said this so many times wrong in a row? So that one was hilarious. But I mean, we did a workout class up in Traverse City and like wine tasting. And that one was cool because we had that listing up there. So we were able to, that one sold literally overnight. It was
Wow.
crazy. Like the episode wasn't even out for like 30 days.
That's
it was just like a
fantastic.
social media post.
Yeah.
That was it. Overnight, full price offer. It was awesome.
Wow.
So that was cool. And then I have had my friend Lauren, who's an interior designer in Brighton. And I met her actually through a listing too. I was listing a house and I was like, this house is perfect, like out of a magazine. And the seller told me, oh yeah, it was, designed by House of Lauren in Brighton. And I'm like, I don't even know who that is. I'm going to reach out to her. So I reached out to her. I obviously had all the pictures done. And I'm like, if you want to use these pictures, like go ahead, but can you like share the listing when I list it? And she was like, sure. So then I kind of like met her, I guess, through that. And then I had her on the show and we did this cool tour of a house that she redid that was in Brighton. And they basically made this guest house into like a golf clubhouse. It was
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, real estate, that's just a great way to network with anybody because you do business with everybody. Yeah. I mean, you get to meet literally everybody, and then just kind of diversifying into the TV and the podcast realm. You'll obviously, like you had your, the gym owner where you work out, you had her on as a guest, and that's a great promotion for that person.
Right,
for
right.
any entrepreneur.
And that's what I'm kind of like going for with the podcast. I want people to be able to promote their businesses, but
Yeah.
also like give their advice and their story on how they got successful. Because there's so many people who are trying something new and they need those little nuggets of like, what should you not do or what should I
Yes.
do? Yeah. So like the inspiration and then also just promoting them on a different platform, especially if it's local and someone I know. So that was kind of the thought behind that, but then also incorporating people who have, had a comeback or gone through some really hard life things that I think people can relate to and and feel like seen in that space that feels lonely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same premise for my podcast also, and just to provide a safe place for people to share their stories. And I had faced a lot of adversity starting up, and just a lot of curveballs that I never saw coming. And I mean, you must have faced some adversity, like kind of getting into your field, and all you're so successful now, and everyone comes out. You learn as you go. You come out on the other side.
Right.
If you can push through, you know, even in dark, there's light.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to find it. And you seem like a very optimistic person. Have you faced some adversity that you can share?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there was a huge turning point for me 6 years ago. I got divorced. I'm like, is it 6? Is it longer than that now? I don't know. Time goes by too fast.
Right.
But yeah, I got divorced, and I basically was handed this franchise business that my ex-husband was, we both owned through an LLC, but he ran it because I was doing real estate and had the kids, you know. So in the divorce, that kind of got dumped on me. And that was like a 4-year-long nightmare. So, and then obviously I was getting divorced too. So it was like a 2-year-long legal divorce, 3 or 4 years of this franchise that was like just never ending hell. Like I could make a podcast just on what I experienced there. Like employees on drugs, getting robbed at gunpoint, like being fined every single day by corporate for like things that I didn't even know we were supposed to have because I didn't run it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like waking up every day and like not knowing what I was going to get, on top of, you know, going through court and moving and relationships splitting apart and families getting split apart. And
I think I just found my co-host.
Oh,
you
yeah.
and I could co-host a podcast.
Well, I feel like we both have a lot of things, and then
Yeah.
we're also doing a lot of things.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's
all of
a
that.
lot. I've been there. So a lot of what you said, I was like, God, does she know my life?
No, I mean, it's...
Those are points of my business too. Yeah. Wow. Very relatable.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, and I have been talking about those stories kind of on other podcasts because I feel like that's what people want to know. They don't want to listen to the real estate market every day. Like, that's boring. They want to know, like, your dumpster fire and how did you get here? Because obviously that's what motivated me to take all these big steps and really put myself out there when I didn't want to be seen at all after that. You know, like you don't want to put yourself out there after you just fell on your face and got ran over by everything.
You want to put a paper bag over your
Yeah,
head
you want to
and
hide.
isolate.
And I was like, I did not just go through all of that to hide.
No, exactly. And I think that it's so important because you kind of sharing your resilience, you know, these days more now than ever. Well, you have 2 young boys and, you know, we're trying to teach kids these days not to compare on social media. Not everything is what it seems. And, you know, you have beautiful social media and some people have beautiful homes and things like this. But if you don't share the adversity that comes along with what you've earned, you know, people get the wrong impression. Like it's just handed to you, or you didn't have to work through anything, or you didn't go through any dark times. It's everyone has their story, but not everyone's willing or courageous enough to share. And I can appreciate your courage in sharing yours because people need to see that. You know, you're not just the glossy image that's on your social media. There's more behind the scenes. And I like that you're just so open to sharing that because it gives also young girls a platform to look to, like, you know, to be more realistic with what's going on.
And know that like life is going to get hard.
Yeah.
It's going to get hard.
It doesn't get easier. So you'd always remember, like, I remember growing up, you would always hear from like teachers or this person or that person, life gets easier. It gets easier. It doesn't. It gets harder. You have to
I don't know if anyone told me it gets easier.
People used to say that. I used to hear it all the time as a kid. And I'm just like, wow, that's interesting because it doesn't. The truth is it gets harder.
Yeah.
And you have to work harder. You have to push harder. You have to be more resilient and you have to find, like, you really have to be yourself and, you know, pull everything out of you to come as far as you have and like to go through those things. Like you were faced with the divorce, you're divorcing your husband and married to a franchise at the same time, right? And it's like
I was like a prisoner to the franchise.
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, when you're you feel shackled in life and you can't move forward. I mean, how did you even get out of that? That's probably a whole nother podcast, but eventually like you were able to, you know, get away.
Yes. So, I mean, COVID was obviously like the nail in the coffin with ever being able to fix it.
Right.
But I mean, I was always told that it was doing well because we only had it for about a year. And he was like, it's doing really well, whatever. And then when we were getting divorced, he's like, it's not doing well. We need to get rid of it. And I'm like, do we need to get rid of it because it's been neglected? It just needs to be like restructured? or why, you know? And it was apparently like bleeding to death since the beginning, which I didn't know that. But you can't just like quickly sell it. Like it doesn't work like that. So I tried to sell it. We bought it for $250,000. I tried to sell it for 30 after getting fined like every day. I'm like, I'm working my job that I have to pay for my kids and my attorney and all these other things, but I have to pay every day to keep this place open, or I'm going to get fined more, because there's certain hours that you have to be open. And when you only have employees that never show up, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't, they're like, well, why don't you pay the employees more? You'll get more. I'm like, so I'm supposed to pay them more when I'm paying to keep it open every day. Like it was crazy.
Wow.
So I ended up, the guy that was buying it for $30,000 ended up walking away from it 2 days before closing, which I had to wire $5,000 as like a transfer fee to corporate like 2 days before. That was non-refundable and non-transferable. So if I got another client or if I got somebody else that was going to buy it, I had to also pay another $5,000. And this is like how I'm taking care of my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and paying for my house and paying for everything. Like you don't get child support or spouses, like you don't get that.
Right.
So yeah. So I'm like, that was a hard day to get that call where he's like, I don't want it anymore. Like corporate's too finicky.
Wow.
So
just 2 days before.
2 days before. It was I wired the money on Friday. We were supposed to close on Monday. And he called me on Saturday and said he didn't want it. So then I tried to sell it to someone else. And he was like, honestly, like looking at these, obviously COVID too. So it's like, now there's different regulations where like people can't even leave their house. Everybody's working from home. So not everybody's going out to lunch every single day, which was our busiest time was lunch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up just closing it after, but it was like a year worth of like, okay, what am I supposed to owe? How long are they going to fine me for royalties?
Loss, right?
Yeah, like huge loss.
Yeah.
So like 100% loss.
Right.
And like mental trauma from just dealing with that for sure. Yeah. So
God.
I finally got out alive after COVID because I think corporate really kind of dropped the ball a lot. Like I think a lot of them went remote.
Well, look at COVID did that to everybody, and nothing ever like bounced back. Like the way that people work now is just beyond me. I don't know how things run the way that they do anywhere.
Yeah, they were very unorganized, which helped me. I mean, I'm still every day like getting the mail, like I'm going to have a bill that says like, hey, you paid your past 2 years of royalties. Like, I don't know.
That's PTSD. Let me just tell you, because when I check the mail, I'm always waiting for something from an attorney or another lawsuit, something like that. Yeah,
that's me every day. Always looking over your shoulder still.
Yes.
Yep.
It is not easy. No, it is not easy running a business. And that's why I say, like, I can appreciate your resilience, because this is why you should run yourself like a well-oiled machine, and you do, you know? Like,
but I think it also makes me so hesitant to ever hire anything out, which puts so much on my plate. But I'm like,
I have this conversation every day with
horrible.
myself. Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to pay someone to do it, and then it's not how I wanted it. And then I end up redoing it. And it's like, how much time am I spending teaching this person what I want them to do?
Who doesn't last long anyway, and then you have to start over from scratch again. So I have this conversation literally with myself in the car every day.
Yeah.
I have to talk myself into like,
you're like, I'll just get up at 2 a.m. I can do it.
Right. And some of the stuff I've learned to find balance with that, because some of the stuff I'm like, okay, I can just let that go, and I'll be okay with having to redo it if need be, because I made that choice. And then other things I'm like, nope, it's too big. I need to just,
I have to do this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard. Life is hard.
Yep.
Wow. All of these initiatives. You're going to have a great podcast.
Thank you.
Because I feel like they kind of mirror each other, but in different ways, to offer different audiences different things.
Right.
But like, I feel like people are really, really going to connect with you, especially entrepreneurs. And I think that you have like a great universal appeal too. So like both men and women will find their way to you and enjoy. Yeah. You have a lot to offer. You make a great mentor.
Thanks. Yeah, I have had people say like, "Could you coach me?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where to pencil that in. Which, I mean, I'm considering it, but I got to figure out the right way to do it.
Well, use your podcast as a launching platform, because it kind of showcases what you have to offer. And I personally I like an authentic coach. Like I cannot stand the crooked coaching market right now, because everyone
it's a money grab.
Yeah, it's a money grab, and everyone's just downloaded a PDF or had ChatGPT write them up like, what's my coaching platform, which is a little bit ridiculous. It should come from experience. And I mean, just the few stories that you shared now, holy shit.
Yeah, I didn't just like wake up and get my license and start showing $1 million houses.
Right.
Like I got ran over 500 times by life
Yeah.
and like lit on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
We describe ourselves the same. I haven't
Yep.
said the ran over 500 times, but lit on fire all the time.
Yep. Yep.
That's going to be a great podcast, and you would make a fantastic mentor. So as you kind of came into the real estate market with your mom, could you see yourself taking on like someone coming into the mix and you kind of, taking on a protege? And
Yeah, kind of. I think it depends. My brain goes in a million different directions all the time. I'm like, should we just open our own like office team and train people? But then I'm like, I don't want to waste my time because like there's so many people that are in real estate that don't do anything.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to waste my time like hand holding someone that's not hungry enough to
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've thought about that, but then I'm also like, now I'm doing this podcast and all this other stuff. So I'm like, all right, this is the direction I'm going now. Like that one is kind of like taking a seat for a second. But then I also think it doesn't have to be necessarily real estate focused. Like the dog's going to the dog training school on Wednesday when I take him, I'm sitting down with their marketing person and telling her teaching her what to do.
Wow.
So that's why like the dog got the free tuition, but I have to teach her what to do with it, which I'm like, dog school is going to be the best ever for content. Everybody loves a dog that's terrible.
Oh, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
we got to see these dogs just being an absolute mess in the beginning. And then how they come out, like
Yeah.
nothing is funnier than a dog that just doesn't listen on social media. It's the best.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great platform. I think that universally the coaching thing would have to just align for you. I can
Yeah.
tell. It'd have to be the right person. And I can agree with what you say regarding giving your time to someone that's just not hungry or motivated.
Yeah, like they're like, just get me here. I'm like, I
Yeah.
will get you there, but you have to work.
You
it's
have to
like
do the
being
work.
a personal trainer. Like I was
Yes.
actually a personal trainer before I was in real estate. And it's like, you can't give someone the diet and the workout if they're not going to do it.
Right, exactly. You can't just do the workout and not focus on nutrition also.
Right.
It's all encompassing.
Or like, no matter what I give you, if you don't follow it,
Yeah.
you're not going to get skinny or get
Exactly.
fit or get whatever you're doing.
You have to do the work.
It's
It
the
comes
same
from
thing.
you. And any good coach will tell you, like, I'm going to give you the tools. You have to do the work.
Right.
And that's just the way that it is. And so, time is like one of the greatest gifts you can give someone, even if they're paying you. You know what I mean? Like you
Right.
don't
Time
want
is
to waste
money.
your time. Right. You've got a family and you've got, an empire and a legacy that you're building, and you've got your two boys to think of, and you don't want to waste that precious time. So I can appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brittany, what are your links? What are your handles?
So on Instagram, I'm just Brittany Racine _. Facebook, I'm just Brittany Racine. I'm on TikTok at Brittany Racine 643. And my podcast, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel for it just so they can have the full video on YouTube. So it'll probably be Might Get Loud podcast, but I haven't created. That's on my list of things to do this week.
We'll chat.
Yes, I need you to help
I've got
me.
some insights
Okay,
for you.
good,
Yes.
good.
This
Yeah.
is awesome. It's been such a pleasure having you in the studio.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
It's
I can't
fun.
wait to have you back. We've already got something
Yes.
scheduled, something
We'll have
special.
a Friday party.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Cool.
All right, guys, the beautiful Brittany Racine. Follow her on all of her platforms. And that's a wrap.